Alright guys, moving slowly but surely. A bunch of this stuff's kind of time consuming. I'm just coming out here in the afternoons to get some in. And only getting a couple of hours in. And a bunch of this is, seam sealing and epoxy, and so I'm having to wait a day for it to cure and whatnot. But so I have some spare parts if anyone happens to be doing a 67, 68 or similarly that can do the parts. I have seat platforms. One of them is slightly damaged. I ended up creasing this because I had this side resting on the bench and I was hammering on one of these flanges to try to bend it up some, and somehow this thing just creased over. Like, I didn't even hit it that hard with the hammer, but I don't know why it pinched. I tried to pull it out, I tried to knock it out, I tried putting a flathead in there or a chisel to try to get between and bend it apart. Can't do it. I gave up. But didn't matter because found out I needed to order lower seat platforms anyways, or I could have just cut this and shortened these, which I probably should have done with the price of the dang the lower seat platforms. But anyways, I have seat platforms if somebody needs them. You'll have to, really, you could technically just hammer this back flat on the top where I tried to fix it and just leave it as is, or if you want to just cut this flange off, weld it back together, grind it smooth, and you're good to go. I have these rear extensions that are epoxy coated, and then I have a set of floor pans. I have one seatbelt bracket that I probably won't be using because I just ordered 2 new ones because I have no clue where my second one went. I have these covers. I think I have a set of new ones somewhere that I ordered a while back. I have to find them, and if I do, I have those that somebody can get. But anyways, oh, and that heater core down there will not be reused either. I'll be going with an AC system, so it's just stuff taking up space. Oh, also, I have a power steering pump that's buried there. I have a master cylinder. Most likely the alternator won't get reused. Most likely I'll be getting a high torque starter. So all this is stuff that I'll be getting rid of. Depending on if you're close, you can come pick it up or whatever, but I'd like to get some money off of it. If not, I'll be throwing it on eBay. Some of the cheaper stuff you can just have. I mean, some of these aren't worth anything. I don't know what they actually go for, but I know the power steering pump, alternator, stuff like that worked on the car when I had it. Steering column won't be reused. I did it, got ordered. It'll be in, I don't know, a week or 2. I don't know how long it takes them. But anyways, so I ordered these back plates. They were to the tone of $30 for some they were $30 a piece for these little reinforcements. But I heard that they are quite useful if you run dual exhaust, and they also strengthen this back section. And since I'm focusing a lot on strengthening this chassis, this car, I went ahead and bought them. Probably went overboard on the spot welds to weld it down, but it's secure as hell. But anyways, got those welded in. Got epoxy or weld through. I don't even remember what's on the back side. I think it's epoxy on the back side, and then I scuffed away where the welds would be. It's probably all burnt off anyways, but those still have to be ground down. This whole plate needs to be epoxied. Then I'll seam seal around all of it. I haven't seam sealed this back area yet. I just patched up some of these holes. You can see where I burned through the current epoxy, and then over there I welded up from the bottom to fill some holes that were in the floor. I still have to weld my tubs all the way around. That one over there is pretty much in. The tub is, at least. This one's not welded. It's just tech screwed in place. You can see the tech screws going around until I fit this corner. Anyways, these are the new short platforms. You can get these from MPD. They are also $30 a piece. But they also are meant for a Cougar, I think, originally. They are listed as 1-inch shorter seat platforms for like 66 through 69 or something like that. They are not an exact fit. This was done, like, they came that way with the weld here. And here, that's the front corners. I want to say it's the front outer, like towards the rocker. But anyways, you have to reflange. You can see where I reflanged this one. You have to reflange one of these. The instructions that I found online said to cut the lip off of this, and you just kind of butt weld it. I didn't like that idea, so I flattened the flange out and put a new flange. Used my fancy little pneumatic puncher flanger tool and punched a bunch of holes. And I don't like cleaning the gun, so I brushed epoxy on these. So the underside is epoxied. I'll lay them in place, polka dot the floor with this handy dandy paint marker. These things are amazing. And then I'll scuff the floor everywhere where I put a dot. Hopefully those holes over there won't be where I need to weld anything, because I didn't bother patching any of those in because they'd be a pain in the ass. There's nothing to back them, and they're thin as hell. So they'll just end up getting kind of seam sealed over or left there. I mean, it's a rocker, it's sealed up for the most part anyways. The front all along the floor pan is all epoxied and seam sealed all the way back to the rear torque boxes area. And same thing all up here. This was all epoxied where the frame rails were, and I seam sealed all this. Torque boxes are all epoxied, and I'll come back and seam seal them up here and along all the grooves. This is fully welded, so I don't need to seam seal any of that really. I'll seam seal, I'm pretty sure this calls for seam sealing. I'm gonna do it anyways. I still need to weld this. I think I'm gonna wait till I get the car on the rotisserie so I don't have to weld overhead or upside down, because I hate welding overhead. The welds don't come out all that great in my opinion. You gotta turn the speed up on the welder, and I don't know, it's just a pain in my opinion. I just have the column bungeed up right now because obviously I won't have my pedals whenever this car comes together. I'm using those Willwoods over there, and I got this plate from not Summit or Jegs, I think Speedway or something like that. If someone needs it, just message me, I'll figure it out. But it's like Willwood sells a plate that bolts onto a flat frame rail, a flat firewall, but it's like $100 and something. This was 15, I think, and it's all nice laser cut, like perfect. But anyways, so that's what I'm gonna be welding to my firewall for the pedals. You can see I marked it up just to kind of get an idea of where it'll go. I'm waiting on my firewall column mount to see how far up it comes, to see how much of this I need to chop off. I don't remember the dimensions of this, but just guessing 6 inches maybe tall by, I don't know, maybe a foot wide, 11 inches wide, something like that. I want to say the Will one's 4x8, so I'll probably end up trimming this back probably an inch all the way around, so I don't have to cut out as big of a hole. And then I'll take some sheet metal and just kind of box it out. I'll weld it probably to this seam right here, but it won't, it dips down on the rest of the mark, so I won't be able to, just leave it as is. I'll have to flange stuff out. I'll probably cut it inward like here and then flange this outward and then weld directly back to this, so I don't have to fab stuff, hopefully. But that's my next steps. I'm waiting on my I-did-it column and my column brace, my firewall brace, whatever, so I can get to work on it. And once I get that fabbed up, I have to take some 1-inch square tubing and build a piece that comes from the top out to the dash somewhere, either welded or bolted through something to help support the pedal. So the pedal won't just be supported off the firewall. It'll have something solid for, obviously, when you're pushing that hydraulic master cylinder constantly. I got this in the other day, or today actually, from Mustangs to Fear. These are nice, well made. Granted, it sucks, they're like $70, but it's a nice little piece of built aluminum. Got a little lock Allen key, and it just comes apart like so. Fits together nicely, and it matches up perfectly to these dash holes right here. Those two where the bungees are. I might end up having to get a plate to space it down a little bit to drop it. I'll see whenever my column comes in how it fits, but if so, that'll actually come in handy or make it a little bit easier, because I can drill holes and tap for these, since originally these just threaded into the pedal assembly. I'll be able to drill holes and thread a piece of 1/4-inch plate or something, and then weld that 1/4 inch to the underside where the dash is, or where the column's sitting. And then I'll have just a direct thread. I don't have to worry about putting a nut on top or anything. But that's where I'm at, guys. I think that's all I've worked on lately. Is just epoxy and seam sealing and those platforms that just came in today, along with that column out. And I guess keep watching if you like what you see, or you know, if you're interested in seeing this thing come together at some point in time. If you like what you see, subscribe if you want, or hit the like button. I really don't know if it does anything for me, but hey, why not? But thanks, guys. I'll keep up the updates every couple of weeks or so.